Hello, my name is Stephen Kassamba. I'm based in London, UK. Originally born in Uganda, and I'm a performer. I'm a director, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I promote African music, African dance, anything to do with Africa. I'm right up there. Me, I'm connected to Uganda because I was born in Uganda. I'm Ugandan, but of course I live in Britain. Now I'm British. But most of my experience, most of the knowledge, most of the thing that I do relates to Uganda because that's where I grew up. Because of course as well in terms of our communities, like uh, your early memories start from childhood. So the memory that I have when I was little, they're from Uganda, and hence when I'm in the UK, I might be British, but the Ugandan is still in me.
Why did you come to this country and when?
Um, so my travel is quite very interesting. I came in London or in the UK in 1997 as a performer. We came here to perform a few musical projects, acting projects, and we did them in East London. So we stayed for about probably 1 month or two. Then I went back to Uganda. Then, of course, coming here, I thought there was a need as well as a performer to explore more, to do more for a community that doesn't know too much about African music or East African music or East African dance. So then I came back in 1997 and as a performer, as an artist, and I've stayed here since. And of course, coming the excitement of my knowledge, experience, the community build up, the thing that we do, or how our music and dance entails in Uganda. I thought it's better and it's good for other communities to enjoy. So when I came back, of course, I carried on doing as a performer, as an artist, and hence the reason why I'm still here and I enjoy what I do because it brings smiles to people's faces, and yeah, it's just exciting.
You're a performer. What kind of what kind of things you perform?
Ah, so believe it or not, when I was in Uganda, I studied in the boarding school. At the time when we were studying, our parents they could not think or they could not believe that what we do or culture music or folk dances is something that you can pursue as a career. So in my boarding school, we would go study about maths, we study about chemistry, biography, history, accounts, and all that because that's what our parents thought is the best way and it's a job that you can do. Not until actually I came here, that's when I realized actually that you can earn a living as a performer who is doing folk music and folk dances, specifically from where you're coming from. So my career as an artist um, developed a lot more when I'm in the UK because I thought and I realized that people actually appreciate what I do, people love what I do, and people are not aware, they're not exposed to East African music and dance. So as a performer, I developed all these skills while I'm here as a dancer. I went to Roehampton University and I did dance, drama, theater, and performance studies to enhance more about how I can operate myself as an artist, as an entrepreneur, as a business person. Mainly, I didn't want to study it because I wanted to be a professional dancer or a professional musician in that sense. I just wanted to get the knowledge of how I can conduct myself in a Western world, how my disciplines would be. Because in Africa, I give an example that I can drum throughout the day. When you come to the UK or in the Western world, everything is according to time. So when it's with time, so you have to learn on the way how you can conduct yourself or how you can change the behavior from the African way to the community you're in. And we have a saying, bwogende bulyambwa olyambwa. which means that when you go somewhere where they eat dog and the only thing they eat is a dog, you have to eat a dog. So you learn as you go along. So I adapted myself to be able to bring the African in me to Britain, but to benefit the British community that I'm in. So, as a performer, after studies, of course, I developed a few companies. Some didn't work, and some worked. So then I became a director. I became more of a choreographer. I became more, just a lot of skills that I gained because I could not employ enough people to do other things. So I end up myself put my foot in the mud. So making sure that I do this, I do that, I do this. So I gained a lot of experience as I was trading. And it's the same thing in our community in Uganda. Some of the things you learn as you grow, as you deal with it. So that's how I learned a lot of things. I'm not really a very brilliant dancer or a very good musician, but when it comes to put a project together, when it comes to bring artists together, when it comes to managing a project, these are the skills that I gained at the university, which of course I didn't know when I was back home. And then, of course, back home, I did a course called bricklaying and concrete practice, believe it or not. I was doing building. I wanted to do building. So, but then that one didn't mature. So I did quite a lot of experimenting within my life as I was growing up to the age I'm in, which I won't mention. So I've gained quite a lot from bricklaying to selling like fish, because I used to trade fish from Uganda, take it to Congo. Then I did the mineral water. I was selling water in before I came to the UK. And then when I came here, I did quite a project. I did a few. I did. I was enrolled in a modeling company called. Um, I can't even remember the name of the modeling company. So I did a bit of modeling. I did a bit of dancing around, in like corporate places. And then I did a bit of cleaning. I did a bit of, warehouse work. I did a bit of hospitality. God knows, I've done pretty much a lot. So many things that I've done to the point where I am, and all the things that I've done throughout life has put me into the position where I am to be able to manage, direct, and deal with the company that I have right now.
Yeah, talking about music and dance.
Yes.
What exactly you do?
So, with the music I really know more about is from Uganda, whereby most of Ugandan music is passed on from generation to generation. It's folk music and it has no copyright. So I'm into folk music. I'm into folk dances or traditional music and dance, and the other thing that I practice more, because one, they bring communities together. That's number one. Number two, you don't have to go to study, sit down in a class and learn how to do them. So bring us together, and of course, yes, it's easy, but it's not easy in a sense. So all these music I do or the dances that I do is mainly from Uganda. And of course, I've worked with companies from different parts of Africa, like South Africa, West Africa, and of course, we learn. We might come from a different parts of Africa, but a lot of things are similar because our music and dances tell a story. They narrate our childhood. They narrate how we grow up. They narrate how we should behave in the community. So all the things are similar. So mainly, most of the thing that I do is folk music and folk dances from Uganda.
Can you explain a bit what kind of dances you do, what kind of music, what kind of instruments?
Yeah, so the instrument mainly I play is called adungu. I'm not really, really so great at it, but I love it. And but I'm blessed to know what I know as an entertainer. So I play adungu, which is in the family of the harps, and this usually we call it the African guitar. Then I play a tube fiddle, which we call endingidi. Adung is, as I said, is a harp. Sendingidi, a harp, and then I play drums, which we call ngoma. Ngoma with this terminology that we have in East Africa, which means type of drum. So with the ngoma, there are different types of ngoma. We have the small drums we call namunjoloba. We have the bass, which is the mpunyi. Then we have the main drum, which you called nankasa, and then we have the long drum, which we call a ngalabi. So it's a mixture of all of that. And then on top of that, of course, I sing somehow. I sing, and of course, playing drumming and all this for us, it all works as one unity, and the dance as well. So I get more excited in when I'm doing that. So those are mainly the music the instrument that I play: ndingidi, adungu, ngalabi or ngoma, mainly those. And then the dance, I used to do quite a variety of dances, not in the central, because as you see, some of the knowledge we have in Uganda, like one region, let's say the Buganda Kingdom, has about 5 dances, for example. So out of those 5 dances, I could do probably one dance, I would say. But when you go to different parts of Uganda, they have, like, each tribe has more than 1 or 2 dances in that sense. So some of the dances I do them, like I do the magunju in the central region. I've done the chitaguriro from the western part. I've done the rakaraka from the northern part of Uganda. All these are Ugandans. And then, of course, we've had some artists from Senegal, and they taught us quite a few dance. I think the dance called kuku dance, and it's from Senegal, with the rhythms as well. So not only doing the Ugandan part, but I've managed to borrow and learn a few other things from other parts of Africa, which of course translates to Uganda, and we develop within that what they do and what we do. Sometimes we create something of our own, or sometimes we explore other cultures in that sense, or we just do a bit of a mixture to make the entertainment enjoyable.
I have seen you with Bantu Arts.
Yes.
Is this your brainchild or?
So Bantu Arts is my baby. I studied Bantu Arts. I started it in 2013. Originally, I didn't think it was gonna be the way it is now. I wanted Bantu Arts to be more as kind of like a company that focuses predominantly on productions that we take on stage. And I wanted it to be, I had a vision of 2 companies. One of them was to do more of community-based work, and Bantu Arts to do more of corporate work in that sense. So the first one didn't work, so I went with the latter. So then if the other one didn't work, so I molded Bantu Arts to do both professional, community, and as a production company. So then in 2013, we started slowly. We did one of our first project in Dugdale Theatre, one of the first ever Uganda musical production, full of music, full of dances, in Enfield. And that was called Love Got in the Pearl of Africa. It was widely received. We did it actually in October 2015. And mainly the project was between, I think, the month of Black History Month in October. And of course, I thought that would be a very good platform for us to start, doing that because of the Black History Month. But then I realized, why do we have just 1 month for Black History Month? So I thought, okay, I can push Bantu Arts, as every day we are celebrating, we as Africans who live in the diaspora, and we brought so much to both our communities, not only in Uganda, but even where we live now. So we're celebrating, our theme mainly is to celebrate African music, African dance throughout the year, both in the communities. We do school projects, like African drumming workshops. We do African dance workshops. We do projects for community like Honma Museum. We did a few projects in the last 2 3 years. We've done quite a few projects with Honma Museum, which is based in Southeast London. We've done a few projects with London Marathon, and then a charity called Marie Curie. So we've been supporting them throughout the years. We've done a few projects with quite a lot of companies. We've done LinkedIn. We've done, I think, Spotify. We've done Paramount Films in Camden. And some of them, we've been doing them through Black History Month in October. Some of them we've been ongoing. We've worked with companies like Global Fusion Music and Arts as Bantu Arts, because some of the people, they come to us because they think we have value and we are very professional, and they know that what we do, we know and we understand what we do. So hence the reason why we as Bantu Arts, we have these connections with not only corporate companies, but charity organizations, community organizations. And of course, you can watch us on a lot of our websites, which is bantuarts.co.uk, on all social media platforms. Just type in Bantu Arts. So you will see quite a lot of things that we do on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And you just follow us and see where and what Bantu Arts has. Then, of course, when we started Bantu Arts, I didn't know that I wanted to be more go back to Africa and support more with them. Then, throughout the years, I realized that there's no place like home, and there was a need to support this young generation in terms of their art, in terms of their mental health, in terms of their well-being, financially, and the rest of it. So we created Bantu Arts Foundation, which is an organization, a company based in Uganda, and the aim for that is to support this young generation, or these young kids, on how to basically to mentor them, not only as good citizens, but as financially, help them with either clothing, help them with creating more opportunities for them in life, so that they can live a positive life in that sense. So we got Bantu Arts UK and Bantu Arts Foundation Uganda.
Going back to Uganda, you
Yes.
just explained what I experienced. There were so many different communities and so many different also music styles relating to
Yes.
the different communities.
Yes.
Can you talk about the different communities?
In Uganda or here?
In Uganda.
In Uganda. So it depends. Uganda as a country, I think it's the size of Britain, if it's not bigger than Britain. Uganda has we have about, I think, 55 tribes, I think, to my knowledge. I think it's definitely more than 50 tribes. And every tribe, to my knowledge, has at least two dances. At least two dances. For example, in the region, in the Buganda Kingdom where I'm from, we have a dance called Baksimba. Then there was a dance called Nankasa. There's a dance called Mwogola. There's a dance called Amagunju. And then I think there is another dance. But now, throughout years, what artists have done or organizations have done, they've joined some of the dances together. So you have Baksimba, Nankasa, Mwogola. And they've created that as one dance. But long time ago, all these dances were separate, all right? And each dance has its own message, has its own meaning. Oh, and there is a Mbaga dance as well. That makes it 5 dances. So it's Baksimba, Nankasa, Mwogola, Magunju, and Mbaga dance. Mbaga dance it's a wedding dance. And when they do the dance tells the story about how a woman should behave when they get into the marriage, in that sense. That's why it's called Mbaga dance. It's mainly done on the wedding. So Mbaga means wedding. Magunju is a dance that is mainly performed in front of the king, or the royal dance. Then you have Baksimba. Baksimba tells a story about men went and planted the banana fiber, right? Or banana tree. No, banana fiber, sorry. Banana tree which of course the banana tree had. We have different types of bananas. We have bananas that we cook to eat as a meal. We have bananas that we get juice out of them, just juice. We have bananas that you get juice and you put sorghum on them and you make beer, right? So now that's where the dance Baksimba comes from. Baksimba means they planted it. Baksimba, so they created a dance coming from that genre of going plant the tree, right? Get the banana out, squeeze it, get the juice, put the sorghum on top of it, let it ferment, all right, to create the beer. And when they drank it, they start creating the dance that goes with Abakisimba, which means those who planted it made it so sweet, all right? And that's where the dance comes from. So that is the central region of Uganda. Actually, we have north, we have east, we have west, we have central. We don't have south. So south would be around Lake Victoria. It would have been, but it's mainly we call it central, right? So in the north we have the Acholi people, and they do dances like Lara Karaka. Then you go into the east, you have tribes like the Basoga people. When you go to the west, you have the Banyankole and the Batoro. They do different dances like the Runyege and Togoro. They do Chitaguriro, and many, many more, right? In the Basoga, they do dance like Tamina Ibuga. They do other dances, lots of them. But with different tribes in Uganda, they have their own little thing. Like in Busoga, they have two dances. One is called Tamina Ibuga, and the other one is called Narufuka, right? So they all have a meaning within the community they come from. Same thing with all the tribes and types, all the regions and tribes that portray their dances. So it has a meaning in that sense. Well, to be quite honest, I had this idea of, in fact, in everything that I do, I want to represent. I want to represent what I sell or what I bring to the people. So then I realized the name I had before was not representing me. It was not representing the vision I had. It was not representing where I'm from. So I thought, what is the best name that can describe or that can tell a story about where I'm from? And the idea came to me, and I said, why don't I say Bantu arts, right? So Bantu means that a group, it's a tribe of Bantu speaking people. And the history, to my knowledge, about Bantu is we started from sub-Sahara. They traveled. The Bantu people started from the western part of Africa. They traveled from the west. They came to south of Africa. And then they felt like, no, we don't want to settle here. They traveled to East Africa, and then they settled in East Africa. But it's a journey of Bantu. So the term Bantu, the terminology of Bantu, is a group of people. If it's one person, it's called Omuntu. If there are lots of people, they are called Bantu. And then you can add on Abantu if it's a community, Abantu. So then I thought, okay, I think Bantu will represent me, will represent my vision, and will represent where I'm coming from. Hence the reason why we're called Bantu Arts.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about the different communities, but there are also, I was, for instance, in India, and people informed me about the previous Indian community, which were, of course, expelled by Idi Amin in the 70s. So, what is your take on? There are still Indian people living in Uganda. What is your take on this community, or Asian
community? Okay. For me, I think we had, for me, with my experience, I feel like the Indians prefer to come to East Africa because we have so many things in similar. We have a lot of similarities between Indian culture and or Africa in general. But I would say East Africa because that's where I'm from, and I've seen a lot of Indian in East Africa. And of course, they were good at trading. They came through the Indian Ocean to Mombasa or Tanzania, and they came to Tanzania, they came to Kenya, and they came to Uganda because that's all part of the East Africa on the coast of the Indian Ocean. So to me, when they came with stuff. They brought things like they had their language, they had food, they had some of the spices, and some of the things up to now they're still there, right? But at the same time, we've created something of our own from what they brought. For example, the chapatis. So we have a different types of chapati from India, but originally the chapati is not Ugandan; it was Indian. Then we have things like samosas and things like that. So for them to come, they brought something very positive. They brought something different to what we have, and so on. But they came specifically to make business, to make money, and bring something, not really to colonialize us or in any way. So when they came, when they brought the food, they brought the language, and then, as you, to me, with the knowledge I have with Swahili, Swahili is a mixture of quite a lot of languages. I think it's a mixture of Swahili. It's a mixture of Indian. It's a mixture of Persian. It's a mixture of the local language in Tanzania to create the language called Swahili. And when you go to certain places in Tanzania, they speak proper original Swahili. And when you come to Dar es Salaam, you come to Kenya, the Swahili is a little bit different, all right? So then when they came, with the experience, the exposure, we managed to work together. They didn't come with weapons, they didn't come with anything like that other than business or their mind. They're business people. So they created shops, they created opportunities for work, employment, and so on, and the dances and their culture and the rest of it. So the similarity is they love colors, we love colors. Their dance is using gestures, we use a lot of gestures. So that, and with a smile and the rest of it. I feel like they came to East Africa because we are more open, we are more friendly, we are more kind of like appealing, and in that sense. So I feel like we have so many Indians that came to East Africa. So at the time they were expelled, I was little. I didn't know what was the reason and the rest of it. But of course, we learned the history in that they were done ABCD. But to me, I wasn't there, so I could not comment on that. But we as a community, we need each other. I would not feel we learn from each other. And when Indians are there, I think for us it's good because if they can bring opportunities for the country, that's well and good. If we can share things in common, that's very good. If to be quite honest, it doesn't matter. Like I'm in England right now, right? I was not born here, but I've been blessed to be here. I've been given opportunities and so on, and I've added a lot of value to where I am right now. So why would I be different? Why would I object when somebody wants to go and live in Uganda or settle in Uganda for their own reason? I don't think it's right for me to object that. But in general, I think if people are coming to your country and they bring value to that country, could be economically, socially, and the rest of it, as long as people are benefiting from that. So why not? So to me, Indians, I think they've done so well. They brought so many things that we relate to right now, and yeah, I just love people. I love people.
How is the relationship between different black communities and Indian communities who also became in Ugandan, of course?
Surprisingly, we have Indians that have never actually stepped in India at all, and they have no connections at all in India. So they are part of us. So right now, the Indians who were expelled and they're here, when the president we have, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, wanted, I think the one who came to exile, he told them to come back. Because of course they had so much value to Uganda. Some of them were connected. So a lot of them came back when the president came back in power. So that brought quite a good value for our community. The the other aspect as well for the Indians when they come back is they of course the development of their businesses. Until the schools were open, and of course they injected a lot of money. So when they went back, I mean, it was just a beautiful thing to me that they had already a connection to Uganda. They had already established themselves to Uganda. And of course, some of their families asked, because they didn't know where, some of them didn't know where to go, so that's why they came here. And I think there was a connection between Uganda and Great Britain. And that's the reason why when they were expelled, they straight away they came here. So some of them went back, and they've got so many businesses now. They own so many properties, and so on. Of course, some of local communities have benefited a lot in them, but I think it's all about having a balance of supporting the locals and those who are coming to invest in the country, and to see how you can balance them rather than fostering one and leave the other. So it needs just to balance in that sense, with my experience.
You already mentioned the colonial past.
Yes.
Would you like to comment on that?
Colonial. Colonial was, to me, I feel like everything that comes in your life, there is good and bad out of things. For example, we as Ugandans or as Africans, we didn't have things like paracetamol. We didn't have things like aspirin. We didn't have things like injections. We didn't all these medication. We didn't have them. We used to take things that squeeze from the grass and the trees and these local herbs in that sense. So we believed in healing method. We believe in spiritual methods. We believed in community, build a community strengthening and things like that. That's how we were raised and we were brought up. We did not have fabric that we have, So all this was brought in by foreigners, was brought in by the colonials, was brought in religion, for example, as well. We had no like Protestants, Christianity, and things like that. It wasn't there. We believed in the witchcrafts, and we believe in spiritual healing. We believe in all these traditional way of living. And then, of course, the colonials, they brought Catholicism, they brought Protestantism, and of course, we have the Arabs that brought Arabic or Islam. And then, of course, now we have Pentecostal, which is part of Christianity, which they call themselves born again. They're not Catholics, they're not Protestants, they're called born again. And then plus other religions. So to answer your question is, to me, everything has its goods and bads. But of course, if the bads exceeds the goods, then that's where the problem is. But if you balance it out in that sense. So the good things where we got a little bit of exposed in a few things in the rest of the world, what the rest of the world has to offer, what they have. As I said in my saying, that kutambula kulaba kudda kunyumya, which means you go and see and you bring back that knowledge and share it with the rest of the world. So when they came to Africa, they brought a lot of things, and we learned, oh, there is such a thing in another country, because you only surrounded with your own circle. So those are the things, those are the benefits, what we learned on what other countries have to offer, and so on and so forth. The bad thing was to make you feel like what you have is less value than what they're bringing to you. For example, languages. In school, as we speak now, we speak English. Our local languages are not, we don't have a local, in fact, in Uganda, we don't have like a main language that we say, this is our local main language, as you have here in England. In England, you have English as the main language. Then you, of course, when you go to Wales, there's Welsh and there's Scottish and the rest of it. Kenyans, they put themselves to say, they have tribes as well. They have the Kikuyu, they have the Luos, and they have all that. But they say, no, we need to have Swahili as our main language. In Tanzania, they have Swahili as their main language. And of course, in Tanzania, because that's the origin of Swahili, they only have Swahili, I would say, with my experience. In Kenya, they have different languages. Whereas in Uganda, we have the Rusoga, we have the Nyankore, we have Luganda, we have Rutoro, we have Luchiga, we have so many languages. But we've failed to pick a language that can unite us all Ugandans. The only language which is more predominant or more dominant right now is Luganda. But even that is not officially. Is the only reason why it's dominant is because the capital city in Kampala is in Buganda Kingdom, and everybody wants to come to Kampala to trade. And the language that is used is Luganda. Even the president is not Muganda, but he speaks Luganda. A lot of people that come from different regions in Uganda, they tend to speak Luganda. But I don't know whether it's the institute, I don't know that is part of colonialism, but we don't have an official language that Uganda has. And I think we need to have that. That's very important. So back to the question about colonialism, there are things that are still trading right now because the colonialist mind is still there. We forget to value our countries. We forget to value the things that we have as a country. For example, the food. Uganda has got the best food in the world. We've got the best soil in the world. But people don't value that because they still have this mentality of, I need to board a plane and go to Dubai and do cleaning. I need to go to UK and do care work. I need to go to America to do ABCD. And we forget the values and the beauties that we have in Uganda. Yes, for us as well. I'm the other person as well that you could put into that bracket because I came in this country as a performer. But for me, my vision was to promote African music, was to promote Ugandan music, and that's what I'm still doing. So we still have that mentality of colonialism in our countries because the dressing, the language, our desires and all that. So all that is done. And bear in mind as well, all these maps that we see in our countries or in Uganda were divided. I mean, this office was in the UK and somebody made a call and they said, okay, from this point to this point, make that Buganda Kingdom. From this point to this point, make that this country. And whereas Africa was one country, right? Or Uganda would have been one country, one whatever. And then that's how all the things started developing, and that's all still part of colonialism. And that's why I'm saying colonialism is still part of us, right? It's still in there, and it needs to be extracted out so that we can love our country, we can develop our country. Yes, it doesn't matter, and it's good to have other people come in your country. It's good to borrow other cultures. It's good to get investors from other countries, but at the same time, you need to have values of yourself, values of your country, and develop those, and then you can add on top of what others have to offer.
Yeah, coming back to you are here now in the UK. You came quite late.
Yeah.
In late 97.
97, yes, 1997.
How do you feel yourself? How you feel accepted? How you feel is your identity nowadays? You also got British citizenship, isn't it?
Yes. So me, as I said, I use the word blessed because everything or every journey of my life is a blessing. Because I might cry for this, but there are people who are crying to get what I have, right? So I'm blessed right now. I'm British, but I still love my country, and everything I do represents where I'm from because that's my roots, you know. So my identity right now, I'm Britain. I'm British. So that is, I carry that everywhere I go. But at the same time, I wear other shoes as a Ugandan, right? Because even in my passport, it's got born in Uganda, in a place where I was born, and the name I have is still African. So I've not changed my name to be Stephen Sims or whatever Western name that could be. I'm still African, so my identity is still there, and so that hasn't changed anything. And I'm very blessed and lucky that I'm still doing what I'm doing. So Britain has offered me quite a very good platform, a very good way of life, different life of myself. But at the same time, it allows me to share my experience and my knowledge to the community in Britain. And it allows me, not only in Britain, but to the rest of the world. When we do live productions, they go on YouTube and people can see what we do and what we have to offer to the rest of the world. So all the things are part of development, are part of my way of what Britain has offered me, and so that's where I'm lining. But at the same time, I'm still me. I'm still African. I'm still connected with a lot of African families. I speak my language. I understand my language very well, and of course these are the things that to me I can pass them on as well. So it's the same thing. I feel like nothing has changed in my life. I feel like I'm still living in Africa. I feel like I have so much connections. I'm surrounded with a lot of white speaking people. And believe it or not, I feel like my English has developed a lot as well. Yes, even doing this interview, some of the words might feel a bit African, or I might say things differently in the way people perceive it, in the way, but because I have two languages playing in my mind. And even when we speak a language, even here, sometimes you speak English and add in your local language, you know. So all those identities and personalities are still with me. I feel like nothing has changed. Of course, the world is changing a lot with the economy, financial stability, and of course, the art industry as well is very dynamic. So one minute we are busy, next minute we're not busy. There's no job, people have no money, but at the same time, you have so much to offer, and so on and so forth. So for me, I'm I'm developing as an artist. I'm developing with the company that I have because we have some companies or some NGOs or charity that we're planning to work with, like Kype Africa. It's a charity that is based in Uganda, and as Bantu Arts, we have created a performing group that requires a lot of input in terms of creativity, financially, and of course these the kids that we support, they're all young. They need education, but that education we're pushing it through music and dance, culture, music and dance, so that they can tag along with that, and we don't want them to lose their values. We don't want them to lose their identity as Africans or as Ugandans. We want them to retain that, but along the process, they can learn other things throughout their journey, empower them, strengthen them, and keep them more positive. So I'm still here in Britain, and but at the same time, I'm connected to the rest of the world in what we do, mainly music and dance.
Have you experienced racism?
I have indeed, but for me, it's not something that I put my mind to it. Um, and I lived in places where actually I was the first black person to be in that place, like a place like Walton on Thames. I used to live there for quite a long time. Kingston, there were very few black people, very few black people, and even though in my community, we are community-based people. I mean, community. You know, we build around communities. When you go to a place where everybody is for themselves, you have to learn on how you can adjust. And these are the things that I've learned throughout years. Because when you come in England, you open the door, get in your house, lock yourself in, and that's it, right? In Africa, you leave your door open, and the reason why you leave your door open is to welcome people in your house. It's more sign of welcome. So in the places that I've lived in, people used to be. You could see like somebody is looking at you in a very funny face. Somebody doesn't want to help you. You feel all these kind of thing. But to me, I try to um, black out all that kind of thing, and I just mind my own business because I know that people who are racist or people who segregate others, I feel like they're not exposed, right? And I just feel sorry for them. Not that I don't condemn them. I just feel like they haven't traveled. They have not seen what the rest of the world has to offer. They have not opened their mind to welcome other people and see what value, what benefits I can give you. I give you an example. Like you and me, I'm black, you're white, but you've seen me throughout my journey. You've seen some of the things that I've done, and you've opened door to say, okay, we need to have a chat, right? So if you had blocked me out in that sense, then your connections, what you know, what I know, how are we going to merge it together? So yes, I've experienced a lot of racism. I block it out, and I just feel sorry for them. And I just pray that they can just get out of their own bubble, just go outside the world, just see what others have to offer and the rest of it. But in Britain, I think we have a systematic racism, uh, which has been around. Yes, they sugarcoat it and the rest of it, but I think it's still there. It's there in a way how you get stopped. It's the way how you get the job. It's in the way on how you educate yourself. So for me, what I do actually strengthen me and give me that positivity because you cannot take away what I have. You cannot take away my language. You cannot take away the skills and the knowledge that I have. So those are the things that I hang on, I cling on to them because no matter what, you can't take those away from me, right? And yeah, so it's there, but I ignore it. Yeah.
Has anybody make made a comment to you that you are foreign, you don't belong to this place?
Luckily, I've not experienced it. No, I have not. I've had it people say, "Oh, you guys come here, take our jobs and the rest of it." They've never said it to me directly, um, because I've been self-employed for quite a long time. So I'm not taking anything from anybody. I'm doing my thing. Actually, I would feel offended if you come and tell me that you want to take away my art or my music and the rest of it. But it's something that is in me. So I'm not taking anybody's job. All I'm doing is adding on, actually helping you and empowering you and giving you something more positive in your life. You might think you might not like it. You might think it's not beneficial to you. But, until you experience things like mental health, well-being, depression and things like that, everybody needs music. Everybody needs a bit of excitement and things like that. So for me, those are the things that I have and those are the things that I can share. If you have a problem with that, then I don't come to you. And some of the things people look for us to give them the services that we need to. Some of them we approach customers. Some of them they don't like what we do. They don't find it valuable to them, which is okay because we humans we have different opinions, and you can't please everybody. So, as me, I need to have that mentality of we humans we're different. Hence the reason why we have rules and regulations. We have the Bible. We have all these things that mold us within the community. Can you imagine if we had no Quran, there was no Bible, there was no constitution, there was no ABCD? How would people behave among each other or in front of each other? So, to me, some of the things they happen because they happen. You have no choice about them.
What is your personal wishes, or let's say challenges, wishes for the future? It could be only personal, or it could be also an outlook of a society. Something what you want to say.
One, I think we did when I mentioned about the project we did at the music production we did at Enfield. Love Got in the Pearl of Africa. In 2024, I was the first person from UK to stage I would say, a 55 cast production in Uganda at the Uganda National Theatre, UNCC. It's called actually the National Theatre. So we did a project called Adungu Tell musical. It was massive, it was great. We faced challenges, a lot of challenges from the local artist because I came with a white person and because I was new in that environment and bringing a project to Africa or to Uganda, and of course because I brought the white person, they thought we had money. Because I come from the UK, they thought I have money, and there's a lot of challenges that went along in that sense, and people ripped us off, and so many things, and it made the project very very difficult to produce. However, we managed to do 9 shows in 2024. We finished the entire production, so it was done. Of course, I'm still living with those challenges right now, which I'll resolve them very soon. So my focus is to promote where I'm from through music and dance. I want to extract. I want to do culture exchange programs. I want to take Britain to Uganda, right? I want to bring Uganda to Britain. I want to get other countries, these culture exchange programs. These are things that I want to do. I want to bring the production to West End, right? Because I know that we have so much. We have so much we can present, that we can bring to Britain, and people to enjoy a West End show from Africa. So to me, there are things that I'm clinging on. Bring projects from Africa, bring it to Uganda. And of course, most of the challenges that we have, everybody, is financial strains. I feel like there's a lot that I can do in terms of stage presentation, in terms of production. And one of the challenges is financial constraints, because one, I'm self-employed, and then I've got this vision. And then I actually, I know that there are a lot of professional artists in the UK. Loads and loads of them. Loads of professional African artists. But a lot of them are doing jobs they're not supposed to be doing because they have to support their family and so on and so forth. Different reasons. And if I can have them and be performing arts professionally, we have actors, we have dancers, we have musicians, but they're doing so many things that don't relate to what their skills and their knowledge, and they have so much they can give their community. To me, that's something I would love to bring out. Employ artists professionally, just like as you see, people doing things in West End, and you have the committed to do that. To me, that's something I would love to see. I want to bring productions to UK. I want to take production to Africa, and I just want us to really to be to represent, and just learn more as well. I just want to learn more and develop myself as an artist, develop myself as a producer in a lot of things that I want to do. That mainly, for me, my passion is community. I love community. Most of the thing, I think that's the reason why I have Bantu Arts, is to do things that give a smile to people, do things that bring families together, and so on. People learn about what other cultures have to offer in that sense. So to me, those are most of the important things. And as an artist, I would still love to carry on doing that until I go into the ground, as everybody has to go there. Yes.